Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel tonight. We are taking off from 11S, also known as CQ, in the northern portion of Seattle, of Washington State, just across the river, the Sound or whatever. That's not the Sound. I forget what they call that seaway. Across from Vancouver Island. And we are taking a look tonight at the Aerolight 103 from Aeroworks Incorporated, with a max altitude of 2,500 feet. I looked at this and I saw it in the shop and I'm like, I will never buy that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Why would anybody? Ding! Wait a minute. The scenery is really good in Flight Simulator now, like compared to old versions, and you actually could enjoy flying around, sightseeing. There's all kinds of giant city packs that you can buy, like Mexico City, and I mean all around the world. We got, Sydney and Chicago just came out, Seattle. All of these places have these new high detail cities, and we have all kinds of beautiful mountains and forests and rivers and places to go. Animals that are flocking around. Why wouldn't you buy this airplane? This is a great sightseeing aircraft. And so the bell went off halfway through my I'd never buy that, and I shut up and I bought it. $16, $17.20 with the fees in the workshop, and worth every penny. I got this last night, and I've had just a blast flying this airplane. It works well. I did find one bug. I'm sure people will find others, but the one bug that I found is that the flaps don't always visibly retract all the way, or I'm sorry, extend all the way. They always retract, but you'll put it down one stop and it stops one stop down, and you put it down again and it doesn't move, but it's gone down. Seems to be when you're on the ground. When you're in the air, it goes two stops. But the detents are still there. So you push it down one stop and the flap goes down. You push it down again, you don't see anything. But if you push it back up, the flaps don't move. And then you push it again, and then they go up. So there is some bug with the flaps. But other than that, I haven't really found anything wrong with this aircraft aside from it's too much fun. The engine sound is really loud. You might want to back off the volume when you're flying it. But let's go ahead and take this guy for a spin. Once again, this is not a review of the CQ airport, but it gives you, that's my fault. But it gives you an idea of what this new add-on airport, this is, I think from Orbix, but that's not a review of this. So very small airport, but they've added, there's actually a dock that you can take seaplanes out from, and they've redone the port, and there's a bunch of cities around here, or houses and couple small towns that they've rebuilt using default scenery, and it looks really good. So they've done a nice job. Anyway, let's go ahead and take this guy for a spin. So it does, when you get in it, everything is pretty much primed and ready to start. Obviously, there's no lighting, but master switch is already on. These are already on. All you have to do is prime it and start it. Oops, and make sure you put your brakes on. Parking brake is off, by the way, when you start. Not the Microsoft default there. Nice open view, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with the flaps. They've gone down a second stage. I'm pushing the button to put them back up. They don't go up. Now they go up. But when we're flying, you'll actually see them go down 2 stages. And I apologize that the airplane's really loud, but that's how it is. We've got the motor right behind us. I'm not going to be doing radio comms tonight simply because we're recording and we're going to keep it simple. So Aeroworks 2 Lima Golf. Actually, that goes the other way. 11 Sierra traffic. This is Aeroworks 103 2 Lima Golf, taking off runway 26. Departing some direction. See here, right about 50 knots, we're ready for takeoff. Landing, we can land at with full flaps, we can land at about 30 knots. But you can see right here, the enjoyment of flying this, whoa, right? Am I right? Like, this is great. Yeah. This is what ultralight flight is all about. So we'll fly around a little bit and let you guys get an idea what it's like to fly this little guy. And I also wanted to drop out here and give you an external camera view as we fly. Now that's the other thing too, is the brakes squeal even when you're in the sky. They're squealing right now for some reason. But no lighting on the aircraft. Obviously this is a very basic ultralight aircraft. Though for an ultralight it's pretty complex, honestly. Back off the throttle just a little bit. And so anyway, it's a nice looking airplane in the sky. Let's head back down into the airplane. My favorite view in the cockpit, where you belong. Talk about stomach feelings. Blech. All right, let's fly over to town. And there you can see across the waterway there we have Vancouver Island. And now that we're flying this direction, Port Angeles is pretty much straight ahead of us. About a 10-minute flight, maybe 20 minutes in this little guy. It's not very fast. About 60 knots. We're going 55 right now. Once again, for an ultralight, that's pretty quick. Let's visit the kind folks here of CQ. Hey everybody, Nirvana rules. Go Foo Fighters. Pearl Jam. I think probably the people of Washington are over the whole Starbucks. From the land that brought us Starbucks. Actually, really Seattle. We're pretty far north. It's the little town of Siku. And I've dropped the flaps one notch. You can see it now. It goes to the second notch. Now that we're off the ground, it has 2 notches of flaps. The sun comes up over the mountains. And here we have what I would imagine is called Siku Harbor, but I have no idea. CQ Harbor, I think is how you pronounce it. Got our local fisher. But you can just imagine, this is a great airplane once again for sightseeing in cities. Now, I thought about putting a city in here for you guys, but the problem is that I have, when I record and try to fly through cities at the same time, the game gets really choppy. Now, it doesn't do that when I'm not recording, but it does do it when I'm recording, and so I get a little aggravated, and I just, like, you know what, I'd rather just show stuff that's nice and smooth. It does fly really smoothly when I'm not recording, but for whatever reason, when I record, it gets really choppy. So, but you can see this is just a fun little kick-around airplane for sightseeing. And that is one of the things that I like about Flight Simulator, and especially now that it looks so good. It really is, you know, just astounding looking. This is a very enjoyable plane for VFR flight, you know. We'll head over here. There's more of the town. I think this is probably the default scenery here that we're seeing along there. But we need to gain a little speed and climb to get back up to the altitude of the airport. So, all in all, I give this thing a 9 out of 10. If it was perfect and we didn't have the flaps bug, the brakes that operate in midair, though they might, maybe they really do squeak in the air, but that's a little weird to me. Like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like they would really squeak unless you were on the ground, but other than that, it's perfect, and I'm definitely worth the $16. Definitely worth the 16 bucks, because you can really get a nice, slow, close-up look at the things you're interested in. So I got the flaps all the way down. The airplane will drop to about 30 knots. At full power, we're at 30 knots, and we're climbing, and we're dropping down 25. Things get a little heavy at 25 knots. You want to keep it around 30, so when you run the flaps down, I'd run pretty close to full throttle until you're ready to really come in and land. There we go. Come back. Keep it at 30. I've got my head to the side a little bit so I can see around the post. I've landed I can't believe I've landed the biplane at this airport. This airport is a bit frightening. Like, does this scare you? Because it does scare me a bit. It's pretty intimidating. Flare. Come on, touchdown. I think we're down. Yep, we're down. It was so smooth we didn't even know we were down. So, what do you guys think? Personally, I'm in love. I think this is a great little airplane, and I think it's a lot of fun to fly, and will definitely add to your collection for small operations and definitely having fun and sightseeing, and that's really what this is about. So go to your favorite city. Like I said, Chicago's out now. You can fly to Chicago and fly up and down the river, and dang, it's fun. This airplane really does a good job, except for the squeaky brakes. So there you go. There's the Aeroworks Aeroworks 103 from Aero Inc. Great little airplane. Hopefully you guys like this video. Be sure to subscribe and like. I'll continue to do these as I have several aircraft I still need to review, and several airports that we'll be going through, and I'll be buying more as time goes on. So we'll keep going. Have a great night, guys, and we'll see you next time on Flight Simulator 2020.